All right, 4-game slate in the NHL tonight. Who else would we be talking to about it but DraftKings contributor Geoff Ulrich? All right, Geoff, time for NHL opening faceoff. So choose between DFS plays and the best bets on tonight's NHL slate. Let's do it. All right, 4-game slate tonight. Major disparity in price between the top two centers on board and everyone else. So Austin Matthews is $9K. Nathan MacKinnon is $8,600. The next closest center is LA's Anze Kopitar at $6,300. So do you have to roll with one of the top two studs, or is this your chance to find like great value here?
I mean, the way the slate's broken down, there's a ton of value just sort of flying around at all the different positions. There's injuries that we can take advantage of. There's guys getting, bumps up in lineup, like a Michael Bunting from Arizona, who's 3,200 and playing on their top line. So you could possibly even just target both MacKinnon and Matthews tonight. You can definitely make lineups like that. But, if you're just going to use one of them, for me, I'll roll with Nathan MacKinnon here. The Colorado Avalanche are just on an absolute tear right now. They're just creaming through the league, so to speak. I mean, absolutely just destroying every opponent that comes in their path. MacKinnon he hasn't even had that many like massive nights, but he's still got 17 points in his last 10 games, averaging about 4.4 shots on goal, over 18 DK fantasy points over that span as well. Look, the Colorado Avalanche put up 5 goals against Minnesota in their last game. Minnesota's been allowing a lot more scoring chances of late. I just don't really see that momentum stopping here. I think MacKinnon could even just maybe possibly go out and win this game on his own. He's kind of overdue for a game like that. So Matthews playing great too, but you look at Montreal, like Jake Allen's going to be starting. Montreal's played really good defensively since coming back from their COVID hiatus. I have that game tapped for possibly going under. I would much rather target MacKinnon there. And again, like I said, it's a ton of value out there at other positions.
All right, Geoff, a little more equality in pricing on the wing. Max Pacioretty is the top price option at $7,900. Vegas travels to St. Louis to take on the Blues. But Pacioretty has under 10 fantasy points in 4 of his last 5 games. So, are you banking on him to break out tonight, or will you save some money, like maybe teammate Jonathan Marchessault?
Marchessault, hey, you did really good there, Jessie.
I had to pause for a second. I was like, say it right. I didn't.
It's a toughie. I do like Marchessault this tonight, actually. I mean, again, you can pay up for Pacioretty and MacKinnon. That's completely something you could do here. And I think a lot of people will do that. But, this Vegas second line with William Karlsson, Marchessault, Riley Smith, I would really just go Karlsson and Marchessault. Those are the two real upside plays. They've been pretty good lately. I mean, both guys averaging around 3 shots on goal per game. They kind of been buzzing. They both get power play 1 exposure together. So they're a nice correlation. Going up against St. Louis, I mean, it's just a terrible defensive team. I mean, they're just bad. They're just bad this year. So it's a really good matchup for this second line, in my opinion. And again, I think most people will be looking to Pacioretty. I think this is a slate where you're going to see people go with one of the centers and then Pacioretty. So going with Karlsson and Marchessault as kind of your mini stack to get Vegas exposure, who's in a really good spot tonight. Excuse me, as I almost choke on some air there. You'll want exposure to that offense. So I like going with Karlsson and Marchessault for sure. There's other value wingers out there. Like I said, Bunting is really interesting from Arizona. Kevin Fiala at 5,200 in that Colorado game. He's really picked up the pace of late. Thomas Tatar is a pretty good price as well. So there's lots of guys you can go down to. I like paying down on winger for the most part, though.
Okay, well, for defensemen, you have the Golden Knights top pairing at the top of the list. Alex Pietrangelo, Shea Theodore, both coming in over 6K. But if you look a little lower there, teammate Alec Martinez, 5,500, scored over 30 DK points in his last game. So do you like Martinez or maybe a former teammate, same price range, LA's Drew Doughty?
I mean, I definitely like going under, like avoiding the top 2 guys on defense tonight. I just feel like the guys in the 5K range just getting better value on. The guy I would actually target, though, is Jakob Chychrun from the Arizona Coyotes going up against the Kings. Kings are playing really bad right now, and Chychrun, quite frankly, is playing really good. This is a player who's averaging over 3 shots on goal. He got 5 points in his last 2 games. Arizona's really picked it up lately. Just their offense is clicking. They've got really good studs on the back end, and I like Martinez, but he does share a lot of ice with Pietrangelo and stuff like that. And the Kings are just a team I kind of want to stay away from. So Doughty's playing a lot, but Chychrun to me he's just like a high points per minute guy. It's like in the NBA, we talk about guys that get points per minute. It's kind of the same. He's one of those guys that just produces in all 3 categories. So to me, him at under 6K, I really want to target. You've got good value, though. Sean Walker is playing lots for the Kings. They're like defensively starved, so he's getting big minutes. Alex Goligoski playing on the power play with Chychrun. He's only 3,700. Goligoski has points in 6 straight games, so he's really good value under 4K. I definitely like paying down from those top 2 guys, with Chychrun being my top target.
All right, let's switch over to the DK Sportsbook. Which money line bet do you think makes the most sense tonight, Geoff?
Yeah, so from a money line perspective, as I close my page here, my favorite bet is probably my favorite bet is probably going the under, like I mentioned, on like Toronto, Montreal, but we'll get to that later. From a money line perspective, I just like going with the Coyotes again here. I mean, this is a team that's playing really well. Like I said, they've got their back end going. They've got such a solid defensive core with Jakob Chychrun, Goligoski, and a couple other veterans up there as well. And the Kings, they're all the way down to like bottom 10 in terms of scoring chances allowed. They're allowing the 9th most shots against. Like, this is the team that's just, you look at their back end and their defense, and you're like, who are these guys? You got Sean Walker playing over 23 minutes a night. That's not really a great spot. So I think the Coyotes have really surged lately. I think they're the better team. And you look at the money line between these two teams, the Coyotes are actually the underdogs here. I think a lot of it's because they're starting Aiden Hill, who's their 3rd stringer, but Aiden Hill's played really well in net for them. I like just going back to the Coyotes as a pure money line bet. I think it's kind of ridiculous they're the underdogs here.
All right, Geoff, your favorite bet on tonight's NHL schedule, is it the under in the Toronto-Montreal game? Maybe?
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, we got, and Toronto's a good offensive team, but Montreal's played well since coming back. They just held the Oilers to 2 goals in a 2-game series over both games. And realistically, the reason I like the under here so much is we've got 2 goalies in Jake Allen and Jack Campbell going up against each other, who have just had phenomenal seasons. I mean, Jake Allen's got a .924 save percentage and kind of the quasi backup role. Jack Campbell is undefeated for the Toronto Maple Leafs. His save percentage is .944. They're both going to be starting most likely tonight. Allen's definitely confirmed. I think with the 6 handle here, you got to go the under here. So I like that. Player prop perspective, let's try and actually hit a shot on goal over here. Kevin Fiala over 2.5 shots on goal is a player prop I like. I think the last 2 have failed, so to speak, Jesse. So I do like Fiala. He's shooting the puck more lately, and that should be a shootout with Colorado, though. So give me Fiala's over shots on goal prop as well.